Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This is an art and chat about style. First one up here is my go-to style that I sort of do. Just a character I made up on the whim. Here is my half-elven girl in her first iteration. She pretty much still looks the same. It's sort of a cross between a cartoony style plus my own style. The next one is an experimental style, a cat girl I did on a whim. I really like the turnout. It's very, very exaggerated proportions in this particular style. And then I have a page here from my recent sketchbook of some of my characters and their respective styles. There's Lolita Sabbath and Miss Ellie Ray from a game idea that I have. And then you're going to get another glimpse of Lolita Sabbath here. I've taken a liking to trying to draw her at random in various things. I didn't show you the whole page because it was a little bit gory and I didn't want to expose everyone to that. This one's very inspired by Beetlejuice, specifically Miss Lydia Dietz, but this is not Lydia. I did this on a whim as well, but it turned out rather beautifully, in my personal opinion. The next influence is some old-timey sort of cartoons. Think of old Mickey Mouse, the cat Betty Boop, or more modern in Bindi and the Ink Machine. And here it is again. I tried to ramp it up a little more, give it a little more cartoony style. I really, really enjoyed doing this guy. He's very nervous, but he's really, really adorable, and I'm so happy I drew him. And the next page is sort of trying to do a cartoony style of my own. These are some little circus children that are part of another universe, part of a story that goes with this little clown girl who's very much trash inspired by Sister Location. She's really adorable. And here are some more pictures of her, just trying to flesh her out a bit more, get an idea of how her expressions go. I have a feeling her hair is very expressive. And this is a doll style that I like to do, inspired by Ball Jointed Alice. I really, really like this style. It's cute. And this is a page where you'll recognize two characters from Narelle Bubsby, which is Aiko, and feature mangaka Aqua, a villain in her comic that she is currently working on. So let's get into this chit chat, shall we? Alright guys, for today's video, this is my first freebie Friday that I'm doing an art and chat, and I want to talk about style. I see a lot of videos by YouTubers that I follow here on this your website that have been talking about style, and I sort of wanted to put my 2 cents in it. First and foremost, there is nothing wrong with wanting to have a signature style. I think a lot of artists strive to achieve that. But sometimes I sit and I question, do all of the people who sort of ask these questions just want to be illustrators, or is there something more that they're trying to get into? And the reason I bring that up is there's also sequential art, and if you're doing indie comics, that's fine. You will have your signature style. I follow plenty of artists who do, like Daisy Barbie and Slugbox, Saphira Lou, drawing with waffles, and Natto Soup, aka Becca Hilburn. And they all sort of have a signature style that they do that's recognizable. You can go, oh, I know exactly whose art that is. But there's also animators and, game designers, concept artists, so on and so forth. And a lot of times I don't hear a lot of voice from that side of the artistic community. What I want to say is sometimes not having a straight up set style is not a bad thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting a set style. I myself for a long time wanted a set style, and I couldn't for the life of me come up with one that I thought was interesting or wasn't as interesting as the people I followed. But what I have found that over the years is I have a set of things. There's things that I do that that started out mostly as bad habits. When I was younger, I knew squat diddly about drawing proper anatomy, let alone proper proportions for anything. I had very long people. For some odd reason, they would have long torsos, they would have long necks, they would have long legs, and even the short people were very long for no good reason. But as I got older, and especially after going to college and learning quite a few things, learning how to do concept sketches, learning how to do figure drawing from live models, from art you can find on, not art, stock photos you can find on Pinterest and DeviantArt. I've learned to get better at my anatomy and my proportions, but I have found that I still sort of do some of the same things that I used to. But it works to my advantage, I think. I can't say I can get a completely symmetrical human down pat. Like, for me, unless I really sit down and force myself to do it, it's not really going to happen. And I don't particularly enjoy drawing realism. I can get close, even in a sketch, but nothing, that's spot on. Oh, that's a person, but that's just me, personally speaking. I want to say that it's good to learn how to be flexible. So, in this little montage of drawing, I'm drawing Narelle Bubsby's Aiko and Future Mangaka's Aiko Aqua. And I did them in two ways. I did them in sort of the doll style that I have sort of just picked up, probably about, I want to say about 3 or 4 months ago. That's a style I've been really, really into, and I'm working on a project featuring that style. And then I'm going to do sort of my go-to style. Now, these aren't going to be like fully rendered drawings or anything like that. I just wanted to get them quick and out of the way, just to show you what I mean. The doll style, there's some muscle memory there now, where there wasn't before. When I started trying to do it, I had some hit and miss with the pictures. I could get it one day, and then the next time I tried it, it was wonky. I drew something wrong. The proportions of the face were wrong, as wrong as they already are. But now I'm in a place where I can sort of do, not do it, at the snap of a finger, but I can do it. And now I'm trying to figure out how to evolve past it a little bit so I can get some different, facial expressions, different facial features, like especially with the nose and the eyes, because I want them to be big. They're supposed to look that way, but I want them to be different enough that my characters don't fall into same face syndrome. And that is sort of why I chose 2 different characters from 2 different artists that I follow, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. I thought this was a good way to sort of showcase that without having to draw my own characters. But I want artists who are, sort of asking these sort of questions to think about where they want to go. Think about what you want to do with your art. Do you want to be an illustrator, a comic book artist, an animator, or, a game designer? If you're falling into the latter, you have to be able to sometimes draw things that aren't your own style. When I went to college, in my 3rd semester, we had a large group of, I think there was about 22 of us. There were 3 teams, and I was, of course, on the art team, because that's where I wanted to be. The style that we had chosen for the game was not a style that I was unfamiliar with visually, but it was something that I didn't draw personally. So I actually had to learn how to draw that style and how to mimic it for this game. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I could see the juxtaposition between what we were doing that semester and what I had done the previous semester when my team, which was a lot smaller, we made a game, but the game, all the art in the game clashed with one another. There was a difference between what I drew to the next person, to the next person. There were 4 of us in total in the art team, and we all had different styles, and you could clearly see them all in this game, and they didn't gel in a good way in any capacity. So you don't really want to fall into that sort of trap. So it's a good thing to sort of practice. You can have one style that just you know, that's your go-to. That is what you do, especially if you're doing illustrations on the side, or, you know, something like that. Have to have that go-to. That's something you can do, something you know, something you can do well, but it's not bad to have things that you do on the side, like that old cartoony style. I don't draw like that. That's that's something I just decided to do, and I was just like, well, I've only drawn it like once before, and I was like, well, let me try it again, because bending the ink machine should have just clicked something off in my head, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this. And the first, you know, drawing wasn't bad. It wasn't quite the same because there's definitely features that in those old cartoon styles that aren't, you know, prevalent in the way I draw. Um, Even the women, they don't have that sort of body style. And I think the only the only two women I can think of are Betty Boop and Olive Oil. They didn't have that style. They had very Betty Boop sort of had a structured cartoon style that was significant to her, and then there was Olive Oil, who I would say had a looser cartoon style. She was more like Felix the cat in terms of the way her ligaments moved. There wasn't really any logic to her proportions. She had large feet, you know, that sort of thing. And would I be able to really replicate that? Yes, I probably could, especially if I were to work on something with someone else who said, I want to do this style. Okay, well, at least I have the knowledge. But when I draw it on by myself, I can put my own spin on that sort of style. You can still see the elements of what I would typically draw still in there. You can see it in the way the proportions are drawn, the lengthening of the neck especially, sometimes the lengthening of the torso. Here in this style, you notice that the neck is long, the torso is long, and everything is sort of rounded, and the face kind of there's structure, but it's not, you know, not everyone is built like this. This is not a face you would see, you know, in person. If a person looked like this, they would either be heavily photoshopped or have had a lot of work done. But this is the kind of thing that I love to do. I love to sort of just move past what I can do normally and just sort of try new things. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. If you remember back to Ellie Ray, she sort of had that circular, almost like a squoval sort of face shape. In comparison to Lolita Sabbath, who had a very round, almost I don't want to say pill shape, but like an oval shape with maybe the tops slightly flattened. You know, the structure is very different. And I apologize for some of the jumps in these videos. I was having a lot of technical difficulties this morning, and yeah, I had some technical difficulties even when I came back, because batteries and cameras today just didn't want to work. But anyway, these are just sort of some of the things I would like you guys to think about in terms of your art careers, if it is a career, or or even if you're doing it as a hobby. I want you to think about those things, because I think what happens is a lot of people see artists they look up to and they feel kind of stressed out because they want to be that good, but they don't want to be that person they're looking up to. They want to have something that's significant to them and to get them noticed by everyone and have people love their artwork most of the time. I know there are probably some people who would love attention, negative or good, either way, but we're going to go with the positive aspect here. So, yeah, that's just sort of my 2 cents on it. Sorry if it was sort of a ranty little rambly thing. I didn't have any notes prepared because why would I do that today? But thanks for watching the video. I hope this helps, you know, some of you out there who are still in this little journey of finding your own art style. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have something you'd like to add on, you can leave those comments as well. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber to see what I will be doing this Sunday, which will be my first sketchbook Sunday. And click the notification bell if you've been here for a while but haven't been seeing my videos. I know I've been a little bit scarce, but clicking that little bell helps me out. And if you give this video a thumbs up, that would help me out too. Maybe share it with some people who are sort of in the state who, need a little bit of guidance. Maybe this will help them along. Alright, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!